Once upon a time in a faraway village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake, there lived a poor but extremely kind-hearted girl named Alara. Despite the fact that she had very little, she was always willing to share what she did have with those in need. This inherent generosity was not merely a virtue for her, it was a way of life. One particularly harsh winter day, as Alara was returning home from the fields, she noticed a lone Travella slumped against an old, gnarled tree. He was shivering uncontrollably, his teeth chattering as he tried to shield himself from the biting cold wind that swept across the barren landscape. His clothes were torn, and his face was pale, etched with the misery of his condition. Touched by his plight, Alara quickly assessed the situation. Though she had little herself, she wasn't willing to let this stranger freeze to death on her watch. As she approached him cautiously, concern etched on her youthful face, she asked, "Are you all right, sir? Do you need some help?" Her voice, though soft, carried a note of genuine empathy that cut through the harsh winter air like a warm knife through butter. The traveler looked up at her, his eyes filled with gratitude and despair. "I am lost," he croaked, his voice hoarse from exposure, "and have no shelter for the night. The cold is all-consuming, and I fear I may not make it through." His words tumbled out in a rush, each syllable a testament to his dire state. Alara's heart went out to him. Without hesitation, she made a decision that would test the limits of her selflessness. Leading the stranger to her modest abode, she ushered him inside and offered him water to warm his frozen hands and face. But as the full weight of his condition set in, she realized that mere water wouldn't suffice. Her gaze fell upon her only blanket, a hand-me-down from her late mother that had seen better days. Still, it was the only thing she could offer. With a mix of determination and sadness, she walked up to the traveler, her eyes shining with resolve. "Here," she said, handing it over. "You can use this blanket for the night. It's the only one I have." The traveler looked at the blanket, then back at Alara, his eyes brimming with tears. "I don't want to impose, child," he began, his voice thick with emotion, "but I would be eternally grateful if you would allow me to use it." He reached out, accepting the blanket with reverence. As the night wore on, the traveler curled up in the corner, the blanket wrapped tightly around him. For a moment, the only sound that filled the small hut was the crackling of the dying fire. But soon the silence was broken by soft, even breaths, a testament to the blanket's success in providing warmth. Meanwhile, in the morning, the sun rose, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, heralding a new day. However, its warmth couldn't penetrate the thick walls of Alara's hut, so she woke up to a freezing cold just like the day before. She stumbled out of bed, her limbs stiff from the cold, and her spirits dampened by the reality of her situation. The traveler was gone, and with him had taken the blanket, her only source of warmth. Left with nothing, she sat down on the cold ground, a single tear tracing a path down her dusty cheek. Just then, she heard a commotion outside. At first, it was muffled, but as the sounds grew louder, she realized it was coming from the direction of the village square. Curiosity piqued, she decided to investigate. As she made her way through the mist-like streets, her pace quickened. What she saw in the square was so extraordinary that she couldn't believe her eyes. The entire village, once dilapidated and worn, was now a picture of prosperity. Homes that were once crumbling were now painted in vibrant colors and had new thatched roofs. The cobblestone streets were spotless, devoid of the trash and debris that once littered them. And the villagers, who were once clad in rags, now wore fine clothes, their faces beaming with happiness. But what truly stole Alara's breath away was the magnificent palace that now stood where the old, dilapidated town hall once stood. Its towering presence seemed to touch the heavens, a symbol of opulence and grandeur. Bewildered and confused, Alara found herself swept up in the joyous celebration. Villagers swarmed her, their faces aglow with excitement. "Alara, my child, we are overjoyed to have you here. We have been searching for you throughout the kingdom," exclaimed an elderly woman, her voice trembling with emotion. Alara stared back, her mind struggling to comprehend their words. "Searching for me? But why? And where is this place?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. One of the villagers, a man with twinkling eyes and a hearty laugh, stepped forward. "This, my dear Alara, is your village, or rather, our village. For you are our savior." His words hung in the air, laden with reverence. Still confused, Alara shook her head. "I don't understand. I am but a simple village girl. How can I possibly be your savior?" she replied, her brow furrowed in confusion. The man placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You saved us all, child. You might not remember, but a few days ago, our king fell gravely ill. None of our healers could cure him. It seemed as if he would die." He paused, letting the gravity of the situation sink in. Then he spoke of a legend, a tale of a village girl who possessed unparalleled kindness. "He sent us to find her, and we found you." Alara's eyes widened in realization. "The blanket, the traveler, the king," she whispered, piecing the events together. It turned out that the traveler wasn't just any ordinary person. He was the king's younger brother, renowned for his wisdom and valor. He had fallen ill, and hearing of Alira's reputation for kindness, had gone to her for help. When he had explained his predicament, she had readily offered him her only blanket, an act that had saved his life. Upon his recovery, he had revealed Alira's selfless act to the king, who was so moved by her generosity that he had bestowed numerous rewards upon her, transforming her village into a thriving town and making its inhabitants live prosperous. Overwhelmed with gratitude, the villagers embraced Alira, their cheers echoing through the town square. She realized that the true reward wasn't in the material gifts, but in the love and appreciation of her people. From that day forward, Alira continued to live in the now prosperous town, her life forever changed by her act of kindness. People from neighboring towns would come to visit her, not just because she was the legendary Alira, but because she was a living testament to the power of human generosity. And whenever the townsfolk gathered for their annual festival, they would retell the tale of Alira, the girl who had nothing yet, when she gave everything she gained, the immeasurable wealth of a grateful community and a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. And so the tale of Alira, the embodiment of selflessness, resonated throughout the ages, reminding everyone that the most profound riches lie not in material possessions but in the warmth of human connection and the echoes of a life well lived. The story of Alira serves as a beacon of light, illuminating the profound impact a single act of kindness can have. In a world that often seems to prioritize material possessions and personal gain, Alira's story stands out as a testament to the transformative power of selfless giving. Through her simple act of sharing her blanket, she not only saved the king's brother from freezing to death, but inadvertently changed the course of her entire village's fate. Alira's character embodies the essence of generosity. Despite living a life of poverty herself, she was willing to part with her only blanket, a possession that represented warmth and comfort, with someone she didn't even know. This selfless act was not driven by any expectation of reward or recognition, but by the pure, genuine desire to help someone in need. The moral of her story? True wealth lies in giving, not getting, is timeless and universal. It transcends cultural boundaries and speaks to the innate human desire for a life filled with meaning and purpose. Alira's story challenges conventional notions of wealth and success, suggesting that the most profound riches are the positive impacts we have on the lives of others and the legacy of kindness we leave behind. Moreover, the story also highlights the interconnectedness of our actions and their ripple effects on the world around us. Alira's decision to help the traveler set in motion a chain of events that ultimately led to the transformation of her village. Her seemingly insignificant act of kindness caught the attention of the king, leading him to bestow upon her and her village the prosperity they had never known. In conclusion, the tale of Alira serves as a powerful reminder of the profound impact a single act of kindness can have. It encourages us to embrace generosity, to look beyond material possessions, and to recognize the true sources of wealth, which lie in the love, respect, and gratitude of those around us. Alira's story continues to resonate because it reflects a fundamental aspect of the human experience, the realization that true fulfillment comes not from what we possess, but from what we give.